Welcome to Am I the A-Hole, where OP decided to get married without inviting her racist siblings. When OP's parents learned about it, they got angry and insisted OP should invite her siblings. As a result, OP eloped from home and got married without even inviting her parents. Now, OP's parents are angry with her. I, 28-year-old female, eloped with my fiancé, now husband, Aiden, 29-year-old male, and got married in Vegas. As a result, my parents are angry with me and have not visited us since then. Initially, we didn't pay much attention to their feelings, assuming they would eventually forgive and reconcile with me. However, it now seems that their anger is not fading away. Background: I am a nurse, and my husband is a cab driver, and he is a Black American. We first met when I moved to Reno from my hometown to work a job. On my first day, I booked a cab online, and he happened to be the driver who picked me up and dropped me off at my destination. The next day, I was surprised to see him near my flat, and I initially thought he was stalking me. However, it turned out that he lived in the building next to mine. Since booking a cab online could be time-consuming, I asked him to provide me with daily pickup and drop-off services to work, which he agreed to. We exchanged phone numbers, and he began providing me with transportation services regularly. While on my daily commute and engaging in small talk with him, I realized that he was a genuine man. So I decided to befriend him. You might find it a strange idea to befriend a cab driver, whom I hardly knew, but I had a gut feeling that he was a gem. After 2 weeks of our first meeting, I invited him for coffee. We started meeting for coffee regularly after that. After 2 to 3 months, I realized that I had feelings for him, but I kept them to myself, waiting for him to make a move, as I sensed he felt the same way. After 6 months of friendship, he finally proposed to me. I was overjoyed and promptly accepted his proposal. We have many sweet memories together, but I won't share them all here to keep the post concise. Let's get to the point. After 5 months of our relationship, I introduced him to my parents. My parents also found him to be a good man and were happy that I had found a good partner. After some time, we formally got engaged and remained so for 2 years before getting married 4 months ago. Though my parents liked my fiancé, my siblings turned against my choice. My brother, Michael, 31-year-old male, said that my choice was so mean that he could not imagine. He said that I was going to ruin my future by marrying a black criminal. I told him that being a criminal has nothing to do with race or color, and that any person, whether they are black or white, can commit a crime, and that there are thousands of white criminals. He replied that no doubt there are some white criminals, but all black people are criminals. I was disappointed after hearing such nonsense talk from my educated and so-called liberal brother. I didn't expect such extremism and racism from him. Boiling with anger and disappointment, I told him that I didn't want to have any relationship with him until he apologized to me and my fiancé in front of all family members. In response, he said that it is next to impossible that he would apologize to a black criminal. This was the last word I heard from him, and we have not talked to each other since then. Later on, I learned that he had a fight with my fiancé over fare around 2 months ago before I met him, and this is why he was having such negative feelings about my fiancés. As for my younger sister, Jennifer, 26 years old female, she didn't show such toxic behavior, but she also didn't like my choice. However, I didn't think about other people's opinions about our relationship, and we just proceeded with our relationship. We had been engaged for 2 years and were waiting to get married until we were both in a good financial situation. Finally, 4 months ago, we felt it was the time to start our new journey. Initially, before our engagement, I wanted a wedding with all our immediate family members, parents, siblings, uncles and aunts, cousins, grandparents, etc., and friends invited. However, over time, things changed for the worse. During the last 2 years, my siblings treated me as if I were an outsider just because I had chosen to marry a black guy. They didn't respect my choice, and always gave the impression that I was going to marry a criminal just because my boyfriend was black. Not only this, they both got married in those 2 years, and didn't invite us when all our cousins and even distant relatives were invited. But we were not. Analyzing their behavior towards me and my fiancé during those 2 years and their opinion about my boyfriend, I decided not to invite them to our wedding ceremony. The day we decided to get married, I reached out to my parents so that we could discuss the arrangements for the wedding and prepare the guest list. After discussing all the arrangements, when we sat down to prepare the guest list, I told my parents that I didn't want to invite my siblings, so we should have an exclusion list along with the invitation list. I expected my parents to understand and agree with me because they knew very well about the dispute between us. However, my parents advised me to forget what happened 2 years ago and move on. I was surprised to hear this from my parents. I confronted them, saying, "Why should I forget? They're calling my life partner a criminal. Their discrimination against my fiancé, their opinion about my choice, or the insult my brother inflicted on me when he found out that I was in a relationship with a black guy." My parents tried to calm me down and said that I should cool down and listen to them carefully. I asked why I should calm down. It was not something minor for me, because my siblings had made me feel like an outsider in my own house. So I told my parents that I was not going to invite them to my wedding under any circumstances. When my parents persisted in wanting to invite my siblings, I said I was going to get married on the decided date and not invite any family members. My father said that I was being emotional and should calm down, and we would discuss the matter the next day. Saying this, they left. I was disappointed with my parents' behavior. The next day, I returned to Reno and discussed the whole situation with him, my fiancé. After a thorough discussion, we decided not to invite anyone to our wedding ceremony. In fact, we would not arrange a conventional wedding ceremony. Instead, we would spend the money we had set aside for the wedding on a long honeymoon. In the evening, my parents called me and asked me to come home, but I told them that I would not return home as I did not feel it was the right time to get married. They agreed, but their tone indicated that they thought I was wrong in not inviting my racist siblings to our wedding ceremony. After a week of preparation, my boyfriend and I left for Vegas. After tying the knot in court, we started exploring the city and visiting its beautiful places. We stayed there for 3 weeks and enjoyed our honeymoon to the fullest. After that, we returned home and resumed our normal routine. When I returned from our honeymoon, I uploaded pictures of our small formal wedding ceremony in court and those from our honeymoon. When my parents found out about my wedding, they called me and confronted me, asking why I had done this and suggesting that I shouldn't have cut ties with all family members over such a minor dispute. They said they would never speak to me again. Initially, we didn't pay much attention to their feelings, assuming they would eventually forgive and reconcile with me. However, it has been 4 months since they last talked to me. I have been trying to contact them, but they are not ready to talk to me. I am certain that my decision to not invite my siblings was 100% right. But I am not certain whether my decision to elope from home and get married without inviting my parents is wrong or right. So, Aita? OP is not an AH for not inviting her racist siblings and parents to her wedding, and I don't think she should beg to have a relationship with their parents. OP has made no mistake here, so I would give OP 0 out of 5 on the AH scale. OP's racist brother deserves 5 out of 5 on the AH scale. OP's sister deserves 3 out of 5. And OP's parents get 2 out of 5 for supporting their racist children. What do the Mac Reddit fans think? Is the OP an AH or not? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like the stories I brought you, just hit the like button, share them as much as you can, and don't forget to subscribe to Mac Reddit for a daily dose. Bye bye. See you tomorrow with some more spicy fries.